Hey everyone, it's MeraMangle.
And Chloe Curiosity.
And welcome to another Mangle morning. Woo! That we barely tapped. We were very gentle.
I'm always scared. Like, I don't want to, I have a feeling like one day I'm going to do it and, they're just going to shatter.
Occasionally that will happen. And, did they shatter? That's never happened.
Can you imagine? We just,
But sometimes when we're really forceful, it'll just accidentally happen. We both just come in with speed. There's no way you could be rough looking like this.
I'm a dainty old woman.
So, dainty and colorful. This is Lisa Frank realness.
Yes. It's like Lisa Frank, but
more pastel.
Yeah, more pastel. Pastel yeah. Lisa Frank.
I love that hair.
I'm kind of giving Xenon. You're giving Xena, and I'm giving Xenon.
There you go.
Xenon, 21st century girl.
Theme.
Actually, not really at all, but she's blonde, so.
I would know. You could just tell me that, and I'm like, yes, you are.
But you're giving. I love your Xena.
I'm trying to give Xena. And characters is a good topic for today.
Yes.
Because today we're looking at the queens eliminated at Snatch Game. Very iconic eliminations and very interesting story arcs. You see, it's always kind of a big player or a surprising player that goes at Snatch Game.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at the history of those on some of our franchises that have been around a long time. So we're going to be looking at the U.S., the All-Stars, the U.K., and Canada. Since they have a good, I keep wanting to say chunk.
The girls that are good at the Snatch Game.
No, definitely not for Canada. That's not what I was thinking of. None of these girls are good at Snatch Game. Like a good pool to say, here's maybe a theme. Versus, some of the smaller franchises.
Uh-huh.
If we were to look at it, maybe it's too soon to see a theme.
They have enough, references.
Right. So we're going to take a look at those and see what sort of trends and surprises we see. And some of these are going to be oh my god, they were eliminated in Snatch Game?
It is always a shocking. I feel like Snatch Game is always, there's always that queen where it's, you think they might do good at the Snatch Game, and then there's, what? You're already going home now.
Like the one from this season that we'll talk about. I mean, that's kind of been the most shocking elimination of the season.
Yeah.
They were a strong player that no one expected to go there.
TTT.
And that's kind of a theme. So we're going to get into that, but before we get started, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, and join the Patreon where you can see all kinds of additional content you can't see on YouTube. Plus, you're helping support the channel. Now, you can also support the channel by tipping on Venmo or CashApp like Ryan G, who said, "So happy you're back. Work is no longer boring because I can watch you again. I hope you're not doing anything important."
I love that he's doing it at work.
Right. This is kind of a spoiler, so maybe I won't say it, but there's a queen that's rumored to be on the next UK vs. the World that they're very excited for because we did that last week. I'm excited for that same queen. That's the one I'm most excited for. If you watch that video, you should know. Someone I think is going to be the next queen to really pop. I've been asking for her to come back for a long time. You know how there's always a queen, especially on UK vs. the World, that becomes a worldwide sensation.
Yeah.
We're starting off with the first 5 people ever eliminated at Snatch Game. So it's seasons 2 through 6. And I would say the theme with the first 5 that we're looking at are all the pretty queens, the true beauties of the season.
Yeah.
Kylie Sneak Love eliminated on the very first Snatch Game ever as Lady Gaga.
Yes.
Then Mariah Paris Balenciaga giving us a rough Joan Crawford, a rough Beyonce, a history of those, but this is one of probably the worst.
Yes.
With Lil Kenya Michaels. Then we got Lanisha Sparks, who's giving us Celia Cruz, and then Gia Gunn giving us Kim Kardashian.
That's true. It is all the pretty girls.
These are, the pretty girls. The one that was probably the most shocking was Lanisha, because she had a win.
Yeah, and she was doing pretty good up until then.
And honestly, Mariah was too.
Yeah.
She hadn't won anything yet, but she, had a winning team during the acting challenge. She hadn't been bad.
She had been in the top. She was one you expected kind of would do good. I feel with Kylie Sonique Love, it's hard to say because it was the very first Snatch Game ever.
It's not. It's almost not even fair to lump her in with everyone else because she didn't know what she was walking into.
Right.
It's the first time they ever did it. Everyone else, no excuse.
Yeah.
But
they had at least had a chance to watch it.
For a lot of the girls just thinking okay, well, celebrity impersonations. Here's who I look like, here's what I do.
Right.
And they're not necessarily thinking about what's LOL funny.
And she had the look down. I mean, she's not screaming Lady Gaga, but the look was giving Gaga.
It's very generic.
Yeah.
Mera. But she also got a great redemption for All Stars when she came back.
When she came back as Dolly, it was really good. And Kenya, I mean, that was just a weird choice for her, I think.
Drugged out Beyonce. That was, as Latrice says, the unprofessionalism.
Far too much.
What is the other phrase she uses? The clownery or something
oh, yeah, she was the clownery, buffoonery.
Something like that was far too much.
Yeah.
It's a good speech.
Gia Gunn is Kim Kardashian. I do think, Kim Kardashian, like, could be a funny character if someone did it right, but I still don't think anybody has been able to do it.
Gia's funny. As Gia, yet she can't bring that to Snatch Game.
She's so funny just in real life, like, I think not even trying to be funny. So I think that's why it's like, she can't be like, she has a hard time being funny when she tries to be, like...
She needs to find some celebrity that's just like her.
Yeah.
7 through 11. These are some really shocking ones.
Yes.
So we've got Max being eliminated after winning 2 challenges. But
that was crazy.
That was nuts. Acid Betty was just as shocking, even though she didn't have any wins. She was in the top every single week.
She felt like a front runner in the competition.
It did not feel like her time.
Yeah.
Miss Cuckoo on season 9, that was her second time back, but it was her first time playing Snatch Game. That was not well thought out. Mo Hart on season 10. She was a strong player.
That's crazy too. I didn't realize she went out on Snatch Game.
The final 2 is from season 11. It was our bottom 2. It was a double save. But I did think it was worth mentioning that Evie Oddly and Brooklyn Heights, one of them could have potentially gone. And
oh my gosh, was that the episode when they did the iconic lip sync?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy because, like, when you think back to that,
you forget.
You remember that lip sync, that lip sync, but I did not remember it was Snatch Game episode.
You were right the first time. Lip skank.
Lip skank. They were a couple lip skanks.
They really were, though. I mean, it wasn't a great Snatch Game overall.
Yeah.
It was a pretty forgettable one in that lip sync really made the episode.
Yeah.
It was such a slay that it felt like a win.
Right.
And you literally forgot that they both just bombed one of the biggest and most fan-anticipated challenges of the entire season.
Because I feel like that kind of went down as just, like, an iconic moment for both of them. Yeah. So it's like, you don't even really remember all of that.
They outshined Silky winning Snatch Game.
Yeah.
Next, we got some very controversial ones. Season 12, Aiden Zane. That was caused a news incident because the lady came out and said, I don't know this person.
Oh my god, yes.
And I don't like what they did.
It was, like, really bad.
I feel like that was a new thing that we had never seen.
She probably could have gone home earlier. No shade.
True. It wasn't as shocking as those last ones.
But...
Either was Elliot with 2 T's. We're out of the section of being shocking. Although it was shocking that then season 14 the whole cast is down there because everyone but Deja Sky ended up in the bottom. They did the lip sync tournament.
Yes, I forgot about that.
I thought about putting just Jasmine because she lost the tournament, but for real they were all in the bottom for Snatch Game.
And Deja's was funny, but they were all just so bad that I think it, like, emphasized hers being even funnier. Like,
all she was doing was Lil Jon yelling, yeah and okay, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I guess her performance goes to show you don't have to do that much if you're, like, you got good timing and you know the character.
Yeah.
Who was your worst for that one? Let's zoom in.
I know, I need a reminder, and let's zoom back.
She won't zoom in. She said, no, thank you. I feel like Willow and Bosco, the Gwyneth Paltrow and the Drew Barrymore.
The Drew Barrymore was really a bummer.
Was probably it was, like, the biggest disappointment.
Because it was, like, she kind of had the look down. And I was kind of like, okay, this could be funny.
Yeah,
but she just gave nothing with it.
And also because Drew Barrymore is such an easy target.
Yes. I feel like she has a lot, like, she could have been invading their space and, like...
She could.
I feel like this might have been before...
Positive. No, she was wearing a look that she was...
on the talk show
look, like one of her first talk shows. It had just launched.
Yeah.
But it had already started. I mean, even beyond that, her persona has always been kind of, like, super positive and super...
Right.
Like, over the top.
Yeah.
With like just positivity, I guess. So like there's stuff there,
and she could have referenced some of her movies.
Could have pulled a specific Drew Barrymore from a movie.
Like she didn't do anything like Scream related. Like I don't know, she could have done some more like
some of the romantic comedy.
Yes, like just like relating it to a character.
Never Been Kissed. With the Gwyneth Paltrow, she is a funny person, but it's a little bit of a drier funny. It is a little bit probably harder.
That's harder because she doesn't have as big of a personality, I would think. Like,
no, it's almost, and it's hard for Snatch Game because she's a person that's almost like over it.
Yeah,
it's kind of her vibe.
Like, I mostly like
is not engaged.
I think of like Gwyneth Paltrow in Glee. Like,
I think of that ski trial where she's like, "Well, they interrupted a day of my skiing."
Oh my gosh! Yes, Georgia says
as Alana Glazer.
Yeah, it was.
She tried. Like, I feel like the top row. I feel like they all really gave it their all. It just didn't work. It wasn't funny.
Yeah.
And I even feel like Diabetti was giving me... I feel like if anyone was going to be safe, it would have been her as Ozzy.
Yeah. It wasn't... Like, hers was not as bad, I don't think.
No, I think she, like, repeated answers.
Yeah.
Like Deja's answers or something. Or somebody's answers.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
And that's when they were like, wait, what? That's where
That's when it did start to get a little weird. But I think overall she had the character down. It just wasn't as funny.
Yeah, for real, if I had to pick a bottom two, it'd be Willow and Bosco.
I definitely think Drew Barrymore was the biggest letdown for me. And, yeah, Gwyneth wasn't giving
It didn't feel like they were giving their all. As some of the girls you could see really trying.
Yeah.
Trying to give it.
I want someone to do, like, Betty White. Like
Betty White. Now, Betty White is the only person that actually played Snatch Game, the original. She was on the show all the time.
So someone needs to do that. But I don't think anyone has they?
No, because Betty White is not like a caricature. She's like a funny person.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a distinct voice. She's just a funny person.
Yeah.
Aiden, I know we talked about them a little bit, but even taking away the person that they were doing, the problem with Aiden's is they were doing the number one thing you don't do at improv. Every answer was, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be funny. Like, oh, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
No, but that's the opposite of improv.
They tell you say yes and. Like,
that's the one thing you don't do is say you don't know or say no.
It's always yes.
In our MTV era seasons, we've got Sugar on season 15. That's Tsunami Muse as the Golden Tooth Fairy or something like that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That feels like a lifetime. That feels even longer than Sugar.
Why does that feel so long ago?
Just on the most current season. Oh, that face. That's supposed to be Nicole Richie.
I hated that. The makeup was like the biggest like part about it that was not giving. Like, how was that supposed to be Nicole Richie?
In any way.
Her normal makeup would have given more Nicole than like that.
She looks like Eileen Wuornos after a night of murdering people. You know?
It was really intense with the shading, like, around the nose and her mouth.
There was nothing about her Nicole Richie that was anywhere close. Not the voice, not the look.
Yeah.
Even taking away that makeup, it wasn't there.
I don't know, like, what reference to Nicole, like, she was trying to give, but...
I guess with the t-shirt, I could see her trying to give, like, from the simple life. Like, because she wore a lot of, casual clothes, but it's just not there. Especially with the hair. Nicole's really funny, really dry. She didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
She couldn't name a Lionel Richie song, even though Rue named Endless
That
Love.
was the crazy part. Like, how do you not even... You didn't do any research on it or anything? Like...
Well, even if she was like, I don't like his music, that would have been funnier than, like, I don't...
Oh, I don't know.
I can't name
He has a lot of,
Right.
If she would have just said something random, it would have been funnier than saying,
like Ginger Minj making up stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she was Adele.
Yeah. She could have been
That's not you, Adele.
Happy birthday. When he sings happy birthday, that's my favorite.
Now let's move on to UK. Seasons 1 through 6. Season 1, Something Wrong. Tia Kofi on Season 2. These are very infamous.
Oh, yeah.
A double elimination on Season 3. Theresa May and River Medway. And then LaPhil as Marie Kondo on Season 4. Season 5, Vicky Vivacious, a challenge winner, already going home at Snatch Game. And then Chanel O'Connor, the drama of the season, as Coco Peru, going home. Snatch Game. This really bothers me. It really bothered me. You know what really bothered me and still hurts to this day, even though she did come back and redeem herself? That Mel B. Because it was the beginning of this,
It was so sad.
It was the beginning of this curse on UK of bad Spice Girls.
Yes! She kind of had the look down a little, like, with the hair, but, like...
I mean, it's a fro. Sure, it's in the realm of something that her hair looked like, but the look, this pink robe, was
nothing about the character was there.
At all. She was doing scared, but she was giving Gothy Kendall, like, she's scared?
Yeah.
Is Mel B scared of herself being scary? Like, that's the opposite of Mel B. Mel B is in your face. And is not afraid to be anything.
Yeah, sometimes Tia Kofi can go a little too much with it, but I love her.
Yeah, on that season she was lost, but she did come back and redeem it.
She definitely redeemed herself, because she won whenever she came back.
She did the queen with the head cut off. That was pretty good.
I kind of don't even remember Something Wong's.
Something Wong's was like she did David Attenborough, which was documentarian. Nothing funny about it.
Wait, I know him. He's the one that does the nature one.
And she had the voice down packed. She had the impression down totally. It's one of these rare cases where someone has a great impression and they're really doing it.
Yeah.
Not funny. Shouldn't happen at Snatch Game.
Yeah.
There is nothing funny about it.
He's like a voiceover.
She was answering the questions like real. You know? And Rue was like, okay. Like, it was just too realness.
Yeah.
Like, that Snatch Game should be funny. She missed that part. I guess out of all of them, has the best impression.
Yeah.
Followed by Chanel, I would say. Chanel's Coco Peru, she had the voice down, kind of.
I thought the only thing that was giving was the hair.
And that hair was shiny.
Okay, but it wasn't giving, but that was like the only part that was giving Coco to me.
Yeah.
Like...
No, and I love that she, was trying to do her.
Yeah.
And Coco loved it, too.
It was nice to give her that character
on
there, but
I wish
it would have been, if someone do it good, that would be even better. But yeah, I think Coco, I think she said something about it, or they met up or something, and that was cool.
Yeah, most people would be flattered.
Yeah.
Except for Aiden Zane's person to be done on Snatch Game.
That's the funniest. I feel like your person is like,
right.
That's not me. Like,
you know, the season 3 Snatch Game with the double elimination, they both did struggle in the lip sync, but I felt like Teresa didn't necessarily deserve, like a lot of people struggled.
I was sad because I didn't agree.
That was one where it was, everything in that season kind of went off the rails.
I really liked Teresa, but I felt like the judges never fully lived for her.
They did not. They would pick her apart.
Yeah.
And LaPhil kind of felt like she went at the right time, and so did Something Wong, I would say. Only because Something Wong would not get out of her own way. People would warn her all the time.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And she'd be like, I'm doing it. But I feel like the rest of them were like such...
It was shocking.
It was shocking, and they were like such important story arcs in this season.
Right.
Tia was the narrator.
Yeah.
Now moving on to Canada. Canada has some of the most shocking eliminations of all time, I would say. Kiera as Mariah Carey on season 1.
Oh my gosh.
Then season 2... Suki Doll was a real shocker because we were not ready to be done with her runways.
Yeah.
Lady Boom Boom on season 3 was the queen I thought was going to be the first Canadian to win.
I was so shocked by her.
Because her runway was like her.
She was my favorite.
She had such a cool vision that I was not ready to be done with. And that was really abrupt. Luna on season 4, it felt like it was her time and she was struggling. And she picked a housewife that didn't work.
Oh, Mary Oh, I kind of do remember this.
Yeah.
She's from Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it was, but she didn't. She didn't get much.
I kind of don't really remember much of it, so
Canada's Snatch Games in general kind of just go out.
Yeah.
You know, because the winner sometimes is like, oh shit, they won.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like one person that does well. It's like 14 every year. And then on the most recent season, Oh My God went.
Yeah.
Which was a surprise because I thought she would do good at Snatch Game. I thought that would be her challenge.
And all season she was like saying how she was like the comedian and the funny one. So.
That's a curse too.
It's almost like when they say that, like, oh, this is the challenge I'm gonna slay, then they kind of switch it up.
But when you really look back at the trajectory of stuff, it's like, well, you should have done good at some of these things along the way though.
It was a weird character. I don't think I even really knew who it was.
I didn't either, but from what they were explaining, I'm like, well, how do you even make her funny?
Yeah.
And she couldn't.
It was weird, a weird choice.
Dry.
Especially for her personality, you'd think she would have picked somebody kind of more out there. But.
Yeah. I think the first 3, Kiera, Suki, especially Suki Doll and Lady Boom Boom are 2 of the most ultimate shocking ones because no one was ready to see them go, and it didn't feel like their time. They hadn't struggled up until that point.
Yeah. I remember with Lady Boom Boom, I was like thinking she was going to be in the top, like, at the end of the season. She was going to make it all the way.
I thought so, too. I literally thought she would... Because Giselle won that season, and she was the first French-Canadian to win. I thought Lady Boom Boom was going to be that girl.
Yeah.
I saw that.
She was the fashion girly.
Yeah. But not for very long.
It's hard because it's like some people are funny, but not in the way of like I do a character, in their everyday performance.
Or they just chose the wrong character for their type of funny.
Yes.
Now moving on to the Versus the Worlds. These are very interesting. The top 2 up there are from UK Versus the World 1 and 2. We got Pangina and Keta Minaj. Pangina's is one of the most infamous. But another Mariah to make the list. Fran Drescher is who Keta Minaj did. Keta won her... Actually, we have 2 people who won their Snatch Game the first time. Keta Minaj and Anita Wiglet.
Oh, she did?
Won their Snatch Games the first time. Keta Minaj was one of the frock destroyers. Or not frock, destroyers.
Yeah.
And, absolutely slated on her season. And that was in Holland, but she did it in English. So, you're like, well, she'll definitely kill it because she did her first one in English and didn't have to.
Fran Drescher is a funny choice as a character, but... You have to have the
know
voice.
How to do her.
And,
And, her style of comedy is very self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Kind of old-school comedy, sitcom, like, lying about her age and things like that.
Yeah.
Won't necessarily...
Maybe not as funny today.
Or might not translate in a group setting where you only have maybe if she was in an acting challenge, it could work.
Yeah.
But again, you have to at least be able to do the voice. And I don't think she could even do that.
The Adele was really bad. I remember I was like, what is even going on?
Right.
I think most of it was even just the hair.
The hair, the pink blazer. This Adele has been through it.
What?
She's had a tough
life.
What
was the Adele like? When does Adele look like that?
That must be in the future, because I haven't seen Adele like that. I almost didn't even include the last one, which is Miss Fierce, but because it was Canada Versus the World 2.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't really Snatch Game, it was Snatch Game the Rusical.
Yeah.
But I thought I would mention that,
yeah.
because she was Mother Teresa. It doesn't really count. But she did go, and it is pretty infamous because she's an icon.
Yeah.
And it was right before the end, so she got cut from making the finale.
That was hard, though, too, because it was like they didn't really have any, like, pick over if their character was, like, good at the Snatch. Like, that was, like, the character they picked. Like,
it was weird the way they were, like, judging it as if they played Snatch Game, but then also they were judging them... They were judging them more for the character choice.
Yeah.
Versus what they did, because the character choice actually didn't really make a big difference for anyone, because they're still playing themselves, playing this. It was weird. It sounded like it was going to be a great idea, and it was one of the worst ever.
Yeah.
All-Stars. We have another winner their first time around, Tatianna, on All-Stars 2. All-Stars 3, Chi-Chi. Gia Gunn is back again. India Farah. Then Pandora Box, she didn't win her first one, but it's just as iconic as Tatiana's. And then on Global, it's Galavaro. And then the bottom two down there, that's actually All-Stars 8. No one was actually eliminated, but the bottom two were Jessica and Kahana Montrese. And the reason why, I don't know if you remember this, the reason why neither one of them were eliminated is because Heidi quit that episode.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I guess we could speculate it. I think
one of them would have been in the bottom.
Well, they were the bottom two.
Okay.
But
one of them would have.
Ruth said neither one's going because we lost someone this week. Which I thought was fair.
Yeah.
But I think Kahana would have, as Coco Montrese. It was like Coco
Montrese should be I do
easy.
Remember that.
That should be easy. And I think Jessica gave the energy of her character, but she didn't even give the right energy as Coco.
It was weird.
And like Coco, you remember Kahana kept getting thrown off by the other people improvising, especially Heidi. And the real Coco would handle that. She dressed like that. She's handled it. We've seen her handle it. And Kahana's a little too sweet and gentle to play her own mother.
Yeah. Take it fully there.
Yeah. She needed a softer character.
Yeah.
Gia and India.
A little offensive.
Right. Offensive. I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
Scary. I have nightmares. And they both kind of hung around a little longer than expected. Actually, Chi-Chi did too, to be fair. But you weren't mad about it the way you were with especially with India.
Oh, yeah.
Because Chi-Chi, we got rid of some people that were actually annoying the other competitors.
Yes.
And Chi-Chi is one of those people.
And Chi-Chi, she just was so lovable. So
even when she bombs, you're still like laughing along with her.
Yes.
She misspelled Maya Angelou's name. She didn't know why the cage bird sang. Couldn't answer that. One of those.
And she's one that she'll kind of laugh along with it. Like
it's still charming and funny because of her personality. Yeah.
I don't know why anyone would have picked Jeffree Star. Like, why would you even pick that as a character? And also, she looks like more like a vampire. Like
she looks like as if one of the white chicks became a vampire.
Yes, it looks terrifying.
And the fact that Pandora, this could have been her real moment to like finally get that.
Because she was good in her first Snatch Game.
For Phyllis Diller, I mean, it's probably one of the most misremembered as being the winner of the challenge.
Yeah.
A lot of people misremember that and think she won, but Tatianna won.
Yeah.
3 season 2 girls. And they actually were the top 3, because Jessica was RuPaul, and it was unhinged, but she was hilarious.
Yeah.
I think she was in the top. I mean, I remember laughing a lot in Ru left.
I remember thinking it was funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially considering it was the first Snatch Game ever.
Yeah, because it was so out there.
It was unhinged.
Yeah.
Now, the last ones we're looking at are the 2 non-elimination seasons. So I thought it'd be fun for us to speculate who would be in the bottom or who would have gone home.
Okay, yes.
So at the top, we've got the only time they ever did, 2 Snatch Games. Is it still the only time they ever did that?
I think so.
No. Actually, just this last summer, France... they had the whole phone twist bit. In the middle of Snatch Game, the phone rang and they said, go back and switch characters.
Okay.
And they were better the second time.
They wanted to challenge them to do 2.
And I like because it is the all winners. That makes sense. Like, let's make
something different.
Hard.
Yeah.
Evie would have been my bottom 2, probably my weakest. And actually, surprisingly, because she's done well every other time, Shea Coulee was the other weakest one. Like, she's literally slayed her first 2 times.
Yeah. And I remember Raja was, like, okay. Like, I think hers were kind of funny, but...
A lot of people thought Raja should have won.
You think?
I think that Monet Exchange should have won over Trinity. I thought Monet Exchange did Mike Tyson, and it was perfect. And then she did Sinead Martin Lawrence, which was perfect.
Yeah.
But,
I thought Jinx.
But I love... Well, Jinx was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking her out of it. Like, she was one of the 2
I was going to say, because for me, I remember Jinx.
That's why
was
I said,
favorite,
like,
but...
she would be in Trinity's spot, because Trinity was the other winner.
Trinity did do good, too.
Yeah. And, someone else who didn't do great, but their personality shined through, kind of like Lexi Love got through Snatch Game, was was Jada.
Jada. I remember because hers was like...
Her prince was so...
They were laughing at it, but like kind of for the wrong reason.
Right.
Like,
because she wasn't doing it, because she was doing it like a... She was coming out of the character and being silly.
Yeah.
But it just still was so charming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's another one of those where she's kind of just naturally funny.
Yes.
Like...
I mean, that whole... Look over there, that whole thing was just her being stupid.
She's good with the improv.
Oh, then we cut to our second season. Thank God they only had to do one, because these were rough. Our second season, where it was a non-elimination, it was the charity season.
Oh, yes.
Roxy chose to give us that Tasha salad.
Again.
A third time. You know, the second time, even though she was bottom that time on All Stars 2, I feel like she still made it work. She had to host. She
was funny, yeah.
You know, like, she still was charming.
Yeah.
This version... boot.
And at this point, it's like been too long, and we've seen the reference now a few times. So I feel like, why would she bring it back again?
If you're gonna bring this character back that you are known for already, and it doesn't actually work out well, why were you not prepared? She felt very unprepared.
Yeah.
Other than having the voice still.
Yeah.
That she made up.
I think she thought they would love the reference, like taking it back, but there was no like real substance to it.
The other one that I remember being most disappointing was actually Vanjie as like Cleopatra, because again it's a character, she could just be Vanjie, but she wasn't. She just got lost. Got in her head.
Yeah, I feel like she kind of just yelled things,
but not even in a way that you want Vanjie to do. Yeah, she could have honestly just been herself, but I felt like she was worried about being funny. I felt like I saw that, you know. I think Georges also struggled again as John Leguizamo from Tu Wong Fu. Yeah. I do remember her being a little bit charming and a little bit cute.
I think she had a few funny moments, but it wasn't...
No, it wasn't...
The character was not there.
She could have still been bottom 3.
Yeah.
I would say that Roxy should just be sent home. I would have had Roxy as the worst, because it was just...
But I just love Roxy.
Yeah. Well, we're not actually sending her home, though.
True.
Alyssa came back and did the same thing. Another character from All Stars 2, because she did Annie Oakley.
Yeah.
Yet somehow, even though you made it funny before, or it worked before, you come back and you have it prepared for this. Yeah. And it doesn't work at all.
But also with that, I was like... I mean, Annie Oakley was... When she did it the first time, it was a script, like a scripted part that she
was just lip syncing.
Yeah.
But she could have just been Alyssa.
Yeah.
And couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was more fun than actually doing the ones that were eliminated. got my breast all heated.
Did we say enough?
Got Xena all heated. I really want to know who people would eliminate on those non-elimination seasons.
Yeah.
Who was their worst, because some of those dolls were lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky that we're not looking at it like that. I feel like they should start deducting points or something, you know. With
they do. They should add another layer to it.
You got bottom.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going home. No one's going home the whole season.
That'd be kind of funny if you get, you lose, a point or something. Yeah. Like, if you
I'm taking that badge away.
Yeah.
Now, before we go, let's take a look at our YouTube thanks. And we have one here from is it Alex or Alexis?
Alex. Alex from Greece.
Oh, yes. Because I was just reading the name.
Oh, okay.
Where it says Alex. But
I saw the down.
I should have looked ahead. Hello from Greece, and thank you for welcoming us back. We're so happy to be back, and we're glad you got to see us. Speaking of that, we're going to head out of here. And for the rest of y'all, we're so glad you got to see us. Bye!